So game number 2, guys, here in the good old US of A, Texas 3.0. I don't actually know. This is probably not USA. This is probably like Core Hall 19 Texas 3.0 or something. But at any rate, spawning here in the top left corner of the map, it is the yellow Terran player, FantasyGG. And his opponent in the lower left, currently leading this best of 3 here in the quarterfinals 1-0. It is OldPeaceRoadz. Got that weird ass text in his name, but yeah, it's cool that he was using the Sentinels. I give him big props on that because I haven't seen a lot of Protest players use that. They've been relying a lot on the Robo, combined with early aggression from Goons. It's actually really cool and refreshing to see the air units get utilized. Now, a lot of what happened last game, I think that was just FantasyGG not knowing how or why to deal with a Sentinel or the Null Wards or how the Warp Prism that was paired with both of them. So it's not like OldPeaceRoadz had an OP strategy up his sleeve. Again, with STARBOW, there's broken strategies, and they're only broken because people don't understand them. And that was definitely a weird thing to see happen. Lots of aggression, though. We'll see if that follows up once again. Aggression does seem to be the name of the game, though. You know, we've cast a pretty good amount of STARBOW together here on the channel. Or not we, but like you guys have watched it while I've been casting it. And one thing that has been pretty prevalent is it's usually not a good... Typically, when a player tries to turtle up, it backfires, and they don't end up winning that game. Not even a little bit. So we'll see if FantasyGG can try to be a little bit more aggressive. I mean, you're kind of limited as a Terran player in the first place. Like, you can't... I imagine you could probably 2 racks or something still, but... Oh, sorry, pardon me. Still waking up. I know I'm sitting here yelling and getting all excited, but I'm still asleep. That's how I work. But I say the 2 racks, and it looks like it is going to in fact come down. Now, there's actually a really cool thing in the game that I would love to see FantasyGG try and employ, and that's you can upgrade Reapers to give them the G8 cluster charges, or is it D8? C7, C4? I don't know. Anyways, it's a bomb they throw on the ground. It's got like a 5-second delay, but it goes off and it does a ton of damage. And what you can do with how quick they are is you can just destroy buildings, you can line the whole mineral line up, you can try and bait them into walking into them. I mean, the Reapers are really fun units, but we're probably not going to see them here. I would imagine with this many racks is coming down early, he's going to pump, he'll probably pump Marines, maybe get a Marauder tour out, but does see the Stargate once again. So he's going to have to be very aware Sentinels may come. But Sentinels, as we saw, guys, they're nothing close to Oracles. There we go. Just waiting for it.
First blood.
Okay, so the Dragoon kills the SCV. He's going to move out across the map. FantasyGG is not going to be able to really deal with the Dragoon too early, so he himself can't really move out. A very narrow, very tight choke does lead off to this base, but it's also going to secure a spot to put down the Robo. So I imagine he's probably going to do the same thing he did last game, and it worked out fantastically. I mean, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Go for it, OldPeaceRoadz, if you can. Stimpack coming out pretty darn quick, and of course a medevac or 2 going to be turned out, but you know, it's not really the medevac. It's okay. We'll see how this goes. We'll see. I was going to talk too much about how the medevac's not as good as, or sorry, not medevac. I keep saying medevac. I mean medic, healing. Medevacs aren't in the game. Dropships. Come on, Riff can get it together. Anyways, I was just going to talk about how the medics aren't too great that early because unfortunately Dragoons hit so hard that the rate at which they heal isn't exactly insane. And of course, Marines don't have the range to dance with them. Marauders coming out, though. I like this choice a little bit better. Again, Marauders also benefit from that ranged upgrade, something that's going to have to wait to come out. But of course, if he's got Marauders to deal with Dragoons, he's not going to have the Marines to deal with the Sentinels. And again, the Sentinels are not like a game-ending threat like an Oracle, but they can be if you let them get out of control. A good Null Ward here or 2. Maybe there's only 1 Marine left to shoot upwards. Not going to stand a chance. But for now, we'll see how this goes. Dragoons, of course, reveal. You guys will notice the Marines are taking very little damage from this. If you don't know this about STARBOW, there's a 50% chance to miss and have your damage reduced to like 1 if you're shooting uphill. Really nice Defender's Advantage token. But Marauders on the front lines do not have concussive shells like they do in StarCraft 2, guys. So these, unfortunately, will escape for the time being. Sentinel in the main, still looking for some action. Sim's not done, but I like this aggressive push out of FantasyGG. So, OldPeaceRoadz, because he proxies so much of his base across the map, I shouldn't say so much, but because he proxies across the map, period, he's wasting Null Wards in the middle of the map to act kind of like Spider Mines. He's forced to fall back home. the high ground defender's advantage will come into a big effect here. I don't think that OldPeaceRoadz is going to be broken anytime soon by FantasyGG, but I really like this push. As we see, it's drawn the entire army of OldPeaceRoadz back to home. And that's not because OldPeaceRoadz is like dumb and he's going to get caught off guard or anything. He just knows that it's not safe. Now the Hammer security are going to be on the front line with these Marauders. I love that they use that model, by the way. Trying to get away from the Null Ward before it arms. Really like this move. He could soak the hit and heal it up, but not while also fighting the army. So perhaps baiting one Marauder forward could take a bit of that damage. Streamline on Marine's going to reinforce on top of this too, and this is something a little more like StarCraft 2, what you're used to seeing, where there's a bit of aggression. Unfortunately, the Null Wards will arm and kill every single medic! Oh no! OldPeaceRoadz is in for some trouble. He is going to turn this around, stim, and try and fight this out, trying to cut around the Zealots as much as he can. Should be able to carry out with the Dragoons, but losing those medics, guys, that is really harsh. I mean, you just can't make up that difference through sheer units. We'll stim and take out a couple more of these. Looks like the Sentinels are going to get involved with the fight, but there's just not enough Marines to deal with this. This is really unfortunate. OldPeaceRoadz, if he had split those units up perhaps a little bit better, I don't know, but those... Oh, those Sentinels, man. Those Null Wards were just a little too good. Doesn't quite get that last Dragoon either. That hurts. Command Center is on the way, though, and he's rebuilding his units behind this. So he's not out of the game by any means, but he doesn't have the capability. Hell, he doesn't have the means to fight. So you would imagine a bunker or two would already be down. But only just building one, and only just building one now, this could be a problem. Marines are going to have to try and intercept these Sentinels as well, but let's not forget Null Ward, guys. You put 3 of them down, it means you can't really engage into it. Someone asked you in chat, can you shoot the Null Wards down? Currently, I believe no, you cannot. They may implement a change though. That's what's kind of cool. STARBOW. So in the 5 tournaments we've cast STARBOW, there's been 3 not major changes, but 3 like updates to balance and change the game a bit. So, I mean, the devs are on top of it, guys. You got a couple of them hanging out in chat. They're keeping an eye on what's broken and what's not broken. And oh man, Null Ward. Looks like you can target it down. By the way, guys, it's got 40 health, 20 shields, 20 health. So I was wrong about that. We did see one just get picked off there. So. Kind of like Spider Mines in that regard. Still, though, perhaps a little too cool. Marines just can't quite deal with this. Zealots pushing on the front lines. Now he's just got medics, and medics alone, well, sadly, they can't attack, so can't really do much. This Dragoon in the middle line could be surrounded upon, is surrounded upon, will be picked up, but just as it's got, like, no health and no shields left. But again, this Null Ward, guys, is a pain to deal with, to say the least. I don't know that FantasyGG can really stay in this. He's struggling, but he's holding on. That much is for sure. Looks like we'll pick off another Sentinel, and suddenly finds himself in a little bit better of a spot. Once again, the SUV is going to be pulled to pick off the Dragoon. They will get it. A citizen's arrest is made, but nothing can shoot up. SUVs, sadly, are not given the ability to stack like a totem pole. Although STARBOW devs, if you're listening, perhaps give the SUVs the ability to stack like a totem pole so they can shoot air units. Yeah? Stick a drill right into their face? Anyways, a couple Marines going to drive off the Warp Prism. This looks like it's going to be the end of the aggression for the first push of OldPeaceRoadz. But guys, he has been rallying units behind this. Gateways were made. We had a Robo down here. We got some Warp Tech that's been on and off. I mean, actually, we don't know Warp Tech. I don't know why I said Warp Tech. It's just the... too used to StarCraft 2 regular mode. Anyways, looks like Sentinels in the main going to drive these off once more. And Siege Tanks, which is Siege Mode, are just... so far away. Aye. Well, gonna hold for now. You know, chat brings it up, and it's a great point. A turret or two would be fantastic in this scenario, but unfortunately, he's only just now getting the engineering bay down. Medics are completely dry, so healing these Marines is a chore and a half, to say the least. Another Sentinel coming towards the main. No production up here because, of course, FantasyGG's only just reestablished his economy moments ago. Another Null Ward, but it gets picked off. As we saw earlier, of course, as we learned together, and that's my favorite part about casting this. It's a little bit easier than playing and learning in that regard. I have been casually playing, worth noting, but nothing close to like 40 games a day or anything like that. More like 4 or 5, but still kind of cool to learn these things. On the front lines, though, we got a ton of Zealots. Charges on the way. Zealots, of course, without armor upgrades, whether it's StarCraft 2 or STARBOW, not exactly the scariest threat in the world. Naked Zealots alone are not going to achieve a whole lot. 3 bases, though, is going to look really nice here for OldPeaceRoadz. His economy is just fantastic. but not to the point where he can really bully down FantasyGG just yet. His army supply is double that of our Terran player, but on a defensive stretch, a Terran player is always going to have a little bit of an advantage. But if he pushes out, if he's not careful, might lose a couple units here. No wards are being placed down in order to try and take armed fights. Null wards do fly, guys. Yes, as you can see here. Oh no. This would be a fantastic spot for a watchtower. But STARBOW doesn't implement watchtowers. There's no Xel'Naga to worry about. The entire army is out of the base, and I talked about how Terran players can take a defensive stretch, but this is not going to be it. FantasyGG is going to be forced to go into a base trade scenario. No pun intended, because if he falls back, he loses the game. If he goes full offensive, maybe he tries to outrace his opponent. I don't know. This is just Zealots, for goodness sake. But realizing that, you know, we didn't. If you're watching the minimap, he hesitated. He came back, said, "Screw it, I can't take that fight. Let's just go full offensive." Should be able to gut this base. There's a cannon here to defend. A couple Zealots could be made, but this is looking to be the end of the base for FantasyGG. Looks like OldPeaceRoadz was actually gonna be the one to turn around. I'm not sure that was necessary. Really don't know what to say here, guys. It's a desperate situation to say the least. I think OldPeaceRoadz could have definitely just straight up ended this game, but I guess perhaps the fear of buildings being lifted up. I don't know. Coming back home, we still got 3 bases. Third one being established over here. Lots of gateways on the way. Zealots are going to get right on top of that ramp. And of course, if you guys don't know, by the way, Zealot Charge is not the same as Zealot Charge in StarCraft 2. A couple of beautiful null wards will annihilate a huge portion of that army. In fact, let's just give it a mega kill. Good game is going to be called. But before we get out of the game, guys, Zealot Charge, you'll notice, doesn't make them physically charged. They just move really, really fast.